Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
If that is my real name.
If that even is your real identity.
We don't know anymore.
It's all a dream. Man, we watched another classic Schwarzenegger movie.
Back to our roots.
I mean, it feels like a little taste of home.
Yeah.
Watching
Nice.
like an old 80s adjacent Arnold Schwarzenegger like action film.
Yeah. We say 80s adjacent. What we really mean is 1990.
It was released in
Film.
1990, but apparently, from what little bit I read, they had this movie was in preparation for a long time, and so and they wanted it to be sooner, but it ended up not quite working out that way. So
a film out of time.
Yeah. So the thing is,
A period piece, if you would.
right. So and there's like certain aspects of it that feel a lot like an 80s film.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on film, so it has that kind of grain. There's a lot of practical effects. There's a lot of really cool stuff in the movie that I really fell in love with. I loved the guns, dude.
Oh, of course.
The guns were so cool.
Nice ass future guns.
I know. They look like they functioned like regular like projectile guns.
Mhm. Yeah.
But they looked like blasters from Star Wars.
Right.
They were super cool.
My biggest hope for the future is that in terms of weaponry, we just stick to fun guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. As cool as it is to just have a little button that says kill enemies, which more or less we have right now as far as like missiles go.
Right.
That's as close as we got. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like combat might take a turn for the dull in the future, depending on how far we develop.
I think if we can find out some sort of way to like hurl plasma or hurl lasers in a way.
I'll
like,
take phasers.
Yeah,
Phasers are
phasers
cool.
of some kind. I think we'll get once we harness that ability. I think tech will change.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? We probably won't even make it that far.
But let's talk about the hypothetical scenario that is the plot of this movie. Let's talk about what Total Recall is all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What
Can you recall?
yes,
Okay,
I
Take 'em down, boys.
how to put it into words, man.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about going on a quote-unquote vacation of the mind
I wouldn't do it.
where you can like live, you can have these memories that feel so real, like regular memories? Which then, now that I said that out loud, then begs the question, aren't all memories kind of like not really real, or kind of like your rendition of it in your head?
You may not remember perfectly,
Right.
but
But this thing boasts that you will have like perfect memory of this,
yeah.
which is kind of crazy to think about.
No, I don't like it. If I'm going to pay for something, I want to make sure I actually do it, as opposed to just having that idea put into my head.
Right. Especially because there's like some things that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
I was not spoiled for anything of what this movie was really about.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard about it. I've known about it for years. I thought it was like another action flick on Earth kind of thing. Like for some reason, I felt like Total Recall in my mind. It felt like some sort of like military-esque movie, or like some sort of. I think it's because I'm confusing Arnold Schwarzenegger in action films with other ones that are like that, where he's in the jungle killing things.
Right.
That's what I felt like it was supposed to be about.
Yeah. I mean, it starts off that way.
I mean, maybe
He's on Earth.
yeah,
Action ensues.
right. But more like like this felt like retro future.
Yeah.
It felt like 80s future, which is
Right.
super interesting and cool to look at.
Yeah. Cassette future.
Oh yeah, cassette future.
Alien type shit.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the setting of this movie. there's a few buildings that has this very like
We've reached the Forerunner era of architecture.
Yes, it just feels big and brooding and kind of cold.
Yeah.
But like everyone is wearing like 80s attire.
Right.
Everyone looks like they're in the
These
80s.
crazy ass clothes.
Handfuls of guys with mustaches. Everyone has that kind of hair. They're all wearing like different shades of beige and and green and brown or all that
Purple.
kind of but like nothing, like no vivid colors like in everyday wear.
Right.
And it's like it's just so cool to see that take on the future. Anyways, so
this movie takes the stance of a rebel cause that has made an uprising of itself on Mars.
Right. Mars is populated, though not much.
Yeah.
They live
still to be considered an early colonization effort.
Right. There's no atmosphere on Mars, but
Gotta
they have
pay for air.
Right. They've able to.
What a fucking shit show.
They have monopolized air, and they've also so the bad guy, the mastermind of this, if you will, he has this what is it called? Deuterium. It's like the mineral. Apparently, he has it in his mind that like there's this mineral, and if they are to activate this machine that we'll get to later, it's going to melt down everything, and he's going to lose all his resources. Is kind of what it is. So he is like able to stay this mastermind, able to stay this kind of like the wealthiest man on Mars, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
the corporate
dictator.
You're right, because he is not only monopolizing air, but is also selling this mineral that everyone's like mining and stuff to make money. So he's just got it capitalized.
Yep.
So
do whatever he wants.
If all the mineral is to be depleted or melt down with,
he's nothing.
And then of course he loses all his money. Greedy pig. But before we get into like the real meat and potatoes of all that, let's go back to the appetizer, if we will.
Yeah.
This movie starts off, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is with this, we'll call her the brunette woman for right now.
Yeah.
Because that's what he calls her. And he's in this spacesuit, and he's on Mars, and they're walking around and all that kind of stuff. And
he takes one wrong step.
Right.
Takes a tumble down a hill.
Right. Cracks his face shield across a rock. And then,
the decompression begins.
The decompression begins. And may I say, there is a weird use of puppetry and practical effects in the 80s that is jarring and feels not real and like really gross in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The one thing I can say about this movie, it uses that a lot, but there's only one time where I felt like it looked a little out of place.
Yeah.
Like kind of like the 80s did, where like you can tell they're using like a mold of their face that's fake.
Right.
And they're making it look real.
Yeah.
But every other time it's hard to watch because it feels real.
It's
not
terrifying.
It's not like it's a digital effect or anything like that.
No.
The decompression happens, and like in a few minutes, like his eyes are bulging out of his head, and like you can kind of tell it's like a plaster face or whatever. Right. But like it looks
real.
It looks real enough where you're like, oh god, I don't want to watch it. And he's like, and he's like freaking out. His tongue swells up, and you're like, holy shit, dude, that is nasty. And of course, then he wakes up from a nightmare, and you're like, okay, whoa, what a way to start a film.
Yeah, what the fuck have you been smoking, dude?
For real. And apparently his wife,
quote unquote,
wink, wink, if you will, is telling us that this has happened more than once. And he's having these like vivid dreams about this.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing. That's the first and
little hint we get.
That's the first hint in the pin in the board that I say or I guess would it be considered the linchpin of the whole film in a way. I'm beating around the bush because I want to get to the part because I'm processing this as I'm saying it.
Okay.
Because at the end of the film, there's a whole lot of question if anything's real.
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, is this a dream or not?
Right.
But he had the original dream and potentially more before all that. So then it begs the question:
He's been plagued by these nightmares.
Is it all real, or is it not? That's the whole question of this film.
Yeah.
So basically, again, we're in future tech here, and he's using a jackhammer at work, which is crazy to think about.
Standard construction equipment that you could see nowadays.
Yes.
On Mars.
And there's a lot of references to advertisements.
Mm-hmm. He sees one for a company called Rekall.
Right.
That the main selling point of this company is that they sell vacations.
Right.
But for your mind.
Vacation of the mind.
Yes, memories of a vacation.
Right.
For your mind.
You pay a cheaper fee to not worry about going actually on a trip.
Mm-hmm. You just get the memories put in your brain.
And it feels real.
Yeah.
Which is what we were talking about at the
I think
top.
It's poopy. And I don't like it.
I don't like people messing with my memories.
Right.
Because
that's already like a red flag for me.
So, right, because it tiptoes kind of in parallel with how I feel about time travel. Is the second you start talking about time travel, and the second you start putting time travel into movies, or just the concept therein, it gets really messy, because then you're talking about like alternate timelines, and you're talking about butterfly effects, and all the other bullshit that comes along with timelines and time travel, which is too much, and it gets too complicated, and then if it's not done right, it just feels cheap. But if it's done well, it's confusing as hell. But this tiptoes like alongside that in a way of like, now we're talking about like conscious reality.
Yeah.
Your perceived, what is it called? Your subjective reality, not the objective truth of reality. Now it's like, if you have these thoughts and memories and an entire life lived, and someone's like, that's not real. It's like, well, it's real to me, though.
Yeah, that's what they saw you on. They say it feels real.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, but that's when it starts to get a slippery slope of like someone, like the very premise of this film. Yeah. Your wife attacks you and is like, it's been a plot the whole time. And you're like, but has it though?
That's what I paid for.
Right, but at the same time, it's like,
but it just so happened to line up with what my actual life is.
Right, and that's the thing. Is that's the confusing part. But it also like it kind of would mess me up if like, let's say hypothetically, you've lived this entire life, and all of a sudden you come home from work, and I'm just sitting on the couch, and I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to tell you the truth.
You're fake.
You remember that first time you met me all those years ago? I was just a plant, and your life has all been false from the moment you met me up until this very moment.
Daisy.
The fact that you're here living with me. This whole thing was all planned for the get-go.
Whatever, sunflower, I'm about to put you in the ground.
I'll
show you what a plan is.
Very quickly, I'm going to say a code word, and you're going to wake up, and life is going to be different, and I don't want you to freak out.
I hope it's going to be better.
Yeah, right. And so it's
Can I have a mansion?
Yeah, right. Can I have a mansion, please? And so the thing is, like, it's that kind of stuff where it's like all of a sudden it makes reality a little less structured, a little more flimsy. You know what I mean?
There's a little more wiggle room.
Yeah, right.
For people to fuck with you.
And it's like, ooh, that makes me feel a little, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like the same, it gives you that same sensation like we talked about with Gunbuster and time dilation.
Yep.
There, you could leave, potentially experience time or life this way, and just to come back, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, life is different.
Yeah.
And it's, and nothing is the same. Right. I think it's because I'm probably like I'm like a habit kind of person. I like to have routine. I like to have.
What I'm hearing is that you don't enjoy change.
Well, it's not that I don't enjoy change. I just think the concept of
drastic change
of almost everything being upended would give me a panic attack.
Yeah,
I think change. I think in my life, depending on what it is, I've learned to cope with in some way because I know that's life. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more used to it in like a gradual sense.
Right.
I'm to wake up and like I said, all of a sudden it's like your life is fake and everything's unreal. I'm like,
yeah. For instance, let's say I just I don't know, like die tomorrow.
Right. Exactly. It's like wow, that is hard to understand.
Yeah.
So, anyways, to get back to the original point, That is the premise of this film right here. He's
been having dreams about Mars.
Right.
He really wants to go to Mars.
Right. Even though his wife's like, please, just don't go to freaking Mars. I hate Mars. Don't want to go to Mars.
Only reason to go to Mars is to buy candy bars.
Just to buy candy bears.
And air.
And air, apparently.
Oh, God. I still can't get over that.
Well, I mean,
fucking, like,
that feels like
that's like charging for water.
Of course.
I hate it.
Oh, you mean like right now in this day and age?
Yeah, it sucks. That shit is necessity.
Yeah. So basically, after work one day, even though his coworkers are like, hey, yo, buddy, don't do that, trying to like talk him out of it.
Right. I heard some guy got lobotomized.
Yeah, and it was my cousin, or what? Wasn't it, or something like that?
I
think he's like
mine.
Yeah.
Some such like that.
Okay, I thought he was like my cousin one time. He did that, and he almost got lobotomized. And you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
First-hand account.
Don't recommend it.
Yeah. So he goes there anyways.
Right.
And then the sales guy, I mean,
lobotomy be damned.
Yeah, right. I gotta go to Mars.
I need them bears.
I need them bears. So he goes there, and of course the salesman is like doing a real good job. He's like,
doing
come
as
on,
a salesman do.
And then I feel like this movie would help me out a lot more with the second watch, because I'm watching it now, or I'm like replaying the accounts in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's another like touchstone of it being real and not a dream.
Yep.
Whenever he's like, I want to go to Mars, and he's like,
why don't you go to Saturn instead?
And it's the same thing as his wife said.
Yeah,
which
Saturn's
is kind of
nice,
because it's kind of It's interesting.
Like, no, I want Mars though.
He's like, no, Mars, and he's like,
Mars.
He's like, I mean, okay, I guess we can
Whatever
make it
you
happen.
say.
Yeah, and then
like everyone's trying their best to just steer him clear of
right.
Mars,
but
because they know
exactly
everyone's in on it.
Right. It feels like he is kind of in on it, but not really.
Right.
But it's like whenever he said he wants to go to Mars, it's like he perked up and was like, oh, really? And he's like, is there a problem with that? He's like, well, I'm just saying, like, why don't you go to Saturn?
I think you'd be more comfortable.
Yeah, we
with
can
Saturn.
go anywhere.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, but I want to go to Mars, though.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said Mars.
I said, oh, wait, let me pronounce it more clearly. Mars, please. So
M-A-R-Z.
M-A-R-Z. I was gonna make a Canadian joke, but M-A-R-Z, please.
Oh gosh, stop.
So, anyways, it didn't take long because he's like, I'm willing to pay for it. It's fine. And he's like, I mean, all right. And he's like,
the best I can get.
What about if we do like a, like, what do you call it? Like a personality,
an ego trip.
An ego trip. What a cool. I'm sorry.
Right.
What a cool term.
In the context of this establishment, it works
in the
so
context
well.
of doing a mind trip where you can go to like on a vacation somewhere
and be
else.
anybody.
Yeah, and you can be anybody you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And what were the other options? It was a secret agent. It was
a billionaire.
A billionaire.
I can't remember the others.
Or something else. A superhero,
famous,
I think.
Sports player.
Oh yeah, that was okay. But then he's like, no, I don't think I'm going to be interested in that. And he's like, well, what about these options here? And he's like, oh, secret agent. Secret agent. What is that? And he's like, oh, you can do everything. You get to be invincible.
Yeah.
You get the
You're
girl.
A covert agent.
Yeah.
A sleeper.
Yeah, exactly. You get the girl in the end. You get to save the day.
You kill the bad guys.
Everything is great. And he's like, and all that for a measly 300
credits.
Extra credits. You're like, he's like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, that does sound pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And so, and this is where I have been kind of tantalizing about the confusion of this film,
mm-hmm.
or I say confusion, the subversion, I guess is what the proper term would be.
Yeah.
He goes into like the chamber to go on the trip,
mm-hmm.
quote unquote, for again lack of a better term.
Yeah.
They inject him in the neck, and they're like, okay, and pick your perfect woman. And of course, he
answer these questions.
Right, he proceeds to describe the brunette woman that he
keeps seeing in his dreams.
Right, and so it's like it's all these things that are leading up to so he's actually going to be a covert agent,
right?
That gets to go to Mars
mm-hmm.
to go save the day,
right?
And potentially
save
the woman,
whole planet.
Yeah, save the whole planet. And and so And then apparently,
Can we talk about the categories? Like
What?
the different body types they list?
oh yeah,
This shit's fucking ridiculous.
it was athletic. It was, what was the other one? Athletic.
The last one was voluptuous.
Yeah,
I
voluptuous.
can't remember what the first one was. I think it might have been standard.
I guess. I don't know.
Standard.
Oh, hold on,
woman.
wait. I'm just curious. now.
Wait. Yeah, my favorite part was whenever they brought the screen up for the first time, it was like initiating phase 1, level 4 women.
Level 4 woman.
Like, what the fuck? They've been subcategorized now. What the hell kind of future is this? Oh,
hold
man.
on. I'm just typing it in.
Kills me.
Let's see if we can't find it here.
Yeah.
No,
I could not answer these questions.
I'm getting a lot. I'm getting a
Make
lot
me
of
too
the.
uncomfortable.
I'm getting a lot of the heads, like the head.
Oh
of the
God,
the
yeah.
woman that opens her
Right.
head.
That's a level 4 woman. If
If you know what I
if you
mean.
catch my drift. Wee.
In the movie, the doctor asks Quaid how he likes his woman: demure, aggressive, or sleazy.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Wait,
That just makes me wonder what the categories for men are. Alcoholic? Shut
This
me
is a-
down, yeah.
this is a question, I guess, in this forum, and it says that Quaid replies sleazy.
Yet demure.
Yeah, but Wanton is selected before he even says it.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, before he says demure is selected because he says it.
Right.
Could the machine read Quaid's thoughts? Is that
I mean, it would make sense.
why the choices were highlighted before they were even expressed? Interesting.
Yeah.
What an interesting thing. I'm going to look at this little
Tiny
clip right
little
here.
details.
Right. Let's see here.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see what the I
Right.
think I found
Yeah,
the
yeah.
clip here that I'm
Uh-huh. Yeah.
it says the body types. Let's see. Oh man.
Bagall.
Yeah. It was a certified by God
Oh,
moment.
Jesus. I wish Ethan could have been here for that one.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not going to do it.
Oh, it won't?
No, or not full screen.
Oh, I mean, whatever.
He chooses brunette,
Right.
slim, athletic,
Slim.
or
Okay,
voluptuous.
That was the first one. Jesus Christ.
Voluptuous. Obviously, you can see like a 3D rendering of the woman, and it just like expands
Right.
her,
The
her,
glutes.
Yeah, the glutes and the
And
bosom.
the bust.
Yes.
Good Lord.
So yeah. Anyways, it's
This was nuts.
yeah. I love the term. Oh yeah. Here we go. Slim, athletic, voluptuous, aggressive.
How would you describe a wanton woman?
I don't know what that means. Can I? Let's go ahead and do a little.
Well, this has got a vocabulary lesson.
Yeah. Let's see here. Of a cruel or violent action,
Damn.
deliberate and unprovoked.
Woohoo, psycho. Mentally
Whoa.
unstable.
Okay. So that's like an adjective, and it says a sheer wanton or wanton. I don't know how it's pronounced. Wanton vandalism.
Mhm.
Number 2, it can be like it says oh, here we go. This is
Wanton distraction.
wanton. It says sexually unrestrained
Oh
or,
my God.
or having many casual sexual relationships,
Jesus Christ.
typically used as a bad term towards women.
Of
is what
course.
yeah.
Yeah. Why would anyone choose that?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right. Yeah. There's some. It says here there's other archaic terms for it, and it basically says a sexually unrestrained woman is kind of
Right.
what it means. So I guess it can mean, instead of meaning multiple sexual relationships, I guess it can also mean she's kind of wild in the bed. I guess is what it could.
Right.
Could equate to. But regardless, anyways,
Shit's funny.
yeah, it is funny.
Outlandish by today's standards.
So anyways, he gets injected with the stuff, and it
And they put him under.
right, and I believe I don't know how this process is supposed to work. Like, are you supposed to like fall asleep, have like 2 hours worth of like deep sleep, and then wake up and you've experienced
they like implant the memories while you're under,
right?
And then you wake up and you're like, oh man, I just went to Mars.
That's what I thought. So like
I'm a secret agent.
You would wake up and go like, I've experienced 2 weeks worth of memories, like that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
However, once they begin this process,
right.
not even like a few minutes later, like the 2 lab assistants are like trying to get the boss man on the phone, letting him know that we got a schizo meltdown going down in the lab.
Yeah, which is crazy to hear.
Right. Like he's like in the middle of a talk with another client to try and like sell her on this bullshit. And he gets down there and Arnold is like mid escape attempt, like trying to bust out of these restraints.
Oh yeah.
Because he believes he's a secret agent.
Yeah, he's like, you blew my cover, I can't believe you.
Right. He's got one of them in a stranglehold.
Yeah.
And then like they start shooting him up with that anesthetic.
Oh, she hits him hard with that
6 or 8 times.
She like starts blasting his thigh with that fizzy Lipton drink, and it like I'm telling you, man,
right.
he eventually goes under, and it was like, anyways,
yeah, wipe his records. We don't know shit about this guy.
Right,
refund his money, and just throw him in a cab around the corner.
And if anybody asks who Douglas Quaid is,
we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know shit about nothing.
Right.
Man, what a wild turn of events.
Yeah.
And at that point,
the crazy part is like whenever he gets down there, it's like you mean to tell me you can't do a simple double implant? It's like we didn't implant anything yet.
Oh yeah. Oh, and so that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
Is they just gave him the anesthetic, and then he like wakes up, and then of course
starts freaking out.
But this is the part that trips me up, or at least it did for the first watching of it. And again, multiple viewings of this may change your opinion on it. It's like you said initially, is that it's convenient that like your actual true life is that you are an undercover sleeper agent who has a different identity, who has your memories wiped, and you are in the process of living out a regular life on Earth.
Yeah.
And then you, by happenstance, which is interesting, and I'm not going to say it's impossible, because, I mean, let's be honest, in this world, anything can happen.
Right.
You select to have like a secret agent identity, right. And all that kind of stuff.
Almost subconsciously.
Right. So whenever he wakes up and is like believing it, it's like, okay, well, that's what he paid for.
Right.
But then when she's like, we didn't shoot him up with anything, it was like, is that true, or is that just like,
Is this just the beginning of the dream?
Right. Are we in the new reality now?
Right.
Are we now awakened Douglas Quaid? Is it Doug or Douglas? Or did it say? I guess Doug. I said
it's Douglas.
Okay, I was going to say, I think I said Douglas a handful of times, and I don't know if that's his actual name.
Yeah.
Are we in this new version of Doug, or whoever wink wink he may be?
Right. Some fuckwit named Hauser.
Yeah, Hauser.
Jeez. I wouldn't want to be him either.
Right.
Might as well call him Doogie.
Oh no, please. The name's Hauser.
Doogie
Hauser. It's the worst Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. So he goes home, and of course, he's in the process of leaving. And there are a few things, uncanny valley, terrifying things in this film, and the puppeteering on the like plaster faces or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Uh-huh.
There's a taxi driver, and I think it's Johnny's Taxi or whatever it's called. Johnny Cab. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, it's like the upper half of a man. And it looks like a little cylindrical, like he's got like the hat, kind of looks goofy looking. You can tell it's like a robot,
right?
But they're like making it like a realistic human looking robot.
Yeah.
And his lips move like, like
right.
I can't.
Not like a human's lips would move.
I want you to take just the middle of your lip and just point it up. and he does that mouth motion a handful of times where he's talking is like, I'm a cab. And then you can't
random movements.
Yeah, right. Random upper lip movement that's like, I don't understand. Your eyes look just real enough.
Right.
Anyways.
Don't like it.
Terrifying. Mm-hmm. He ends up like waking or like having like he kind of like comes to a little bit and he's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And because he was drugged and thrown into a cab, just like the salesman was saying.
Right.
As he's coming to, he's like, yeah, take me to my home or whatever.
Mhm.
And then whenever he gets there,
His buddy Harry from the construction site meets up with him.
Right.
How was your trip to Mars?
And he didn't, well, I guess it doesn't really specify that he told him or not. They didn't tell Harry he was going, just Harry gave him like a slant look like,
Right. He somehow knew that he went anyway.
Right.
But
That's
whether or not
crazy.
he told him was either like off screen or just didn't happen. But he knows anyway because
Right,
he's in
right.
on it.
Exactly, because he's in on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I was there to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah. Man,
And
that's
then,
crazy. It feels like everyone's in on it now.
Oh, yeah.
Which then, may I say, for the first time viewing, really solidifies the whole we're a secret agent now, I see.
Right. This is all just part of the experience.
Right. Yeah. You're not actually going to shoot me, are you?
Right. Yeah. I don't know, but I'm going to shoot you. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he ends up kicking ass.
Yeah, after they're about to like execute him in an alleyway, he wrests control of a gun from one of the goons and just mows him down.
Yeah. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Breaks a guy's nose with a karate chop.
he really curb stomps a guy's chin in and breaks his neck.
Yeah.
Harry,
then,
actually. Yeah.
And then breaks one of the other guys' necks in a headlock.
Damn.
Eugh.
It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we're getting in on it. They're not pulling
yeah.
any punches. They're shit's going down.
Yeah.
He gets home and his wife is there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is so interesting.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He starts to open up and starts to panic, and his wife's trying to calm him down. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I went to Rekall." And she's like, "What are you talking about? You went to Rekall?
You went to those brain butchers?"
Yeah. And then, and she keeps trying to talk him down like this isn't real. And he's like, or she says something like, it's all an illusion or something like that. And he shows his bloody hands like, is this an illusion or whatever?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh shit.
It's like, okay, well, that's my cue.
Yeah. And then she tries to kill him.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, hold up. We're going hard on this whole secret agent thing now, apparently.
She's in on it too.
Right.
It was really just a corporate issue, wife.
Right. Oh, God.
Used someone else's.
Right.
Which is the really fucked up part.
That is messed up.
Yeah.
So
Poor Richter.
Richter is the guy who's he's the henchman, second in command kind of guy.
Yeah.
To the
Running security on this whole fucked up operation.
Right. And so his wife says, wink, wink, I'm going to call a doctor or whatever.
Right.
And he goes and runs off, and I think he goes to wash off his hands and put some water in his face.
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up calling Richter. Doesn't really exchange anything, but kind of gives the nod,
Right. He's
now's
awake.
the time.
V
He's
has
awake.
come too.
He's awake.
Right.
He has awoken.
Yeah.
And then of course there's a big action fight sequence, just like every other good action, late 80s, early 90s action flick. There's gunshots, these cool guns. A poor bystander gets shot at
riddled.
riddled with bullets.
Used as a human shield.
Yes, and
4 times.
right, and poor guy. He's out.
Yeah. That is to say, Arnold has since escaped the apartment with his his fake wife. Kicked her ass pretty good.
Yeah,
Made it out of there.
right. Man, what an interesting turn of events.
It's crazy.
I loved how this movie just seamlessly stair-stepped from the beginning to here.
Yep.
And it's okay, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
As
Point
we end
A
up
to point B.
he ends up getting to Mars after this.
Right.
There's a little sequence as to, he
Yeah.
finds another advertisement that's take a cruise liner to Mars today.
Mm-hmm.
And so he ends up getting
There's
there.
another Rekall advertisement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They also, he gets into contact with one of his buddies from the agency.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Off of a briefcase that gives him the supposed situation.
Yeah.
As to how he's a sleeper agent and had his memory wiped.
Mm-hmm.
supplanted with a new one so that he could keep his cover and then regroup on Mars with the rest of the rebel movement.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, which we'll get to in a second. But it's because of now knowing that all that was a plant.
Yeah.
It's like,
they like Hauser tells
Yes.
him that he used to work for the agency
Mm-hmm.
until he figured out he was fighting for the wrong side and then joined the rebels.
Mm-hmm.
After which that that whole shtick happened. Was able to get a bunch of fancy gadgets from this briefcase.
Well, yeah, one of which
Including-
being this, oh god, turkey baster.
Yeah.
It's like a little mini claw.
Yeah. Something you'd use to like get the spark plugs out of your car with.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably not wrong. You could do that with that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a weird. I mean, it looks like a weird injector of some kind.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the like recording that he has, like, yeah, shove it up your nose, get it real good in there,
Yep.
and it's gonna spiral in.
It's
and then
guided.
It's a little, yeah, it's guided. There's a little bitty claw handle there. Don't
Right.
worry.
And then it's just gonna grab the capsule.
Once you
orb.
hear the crunch, you know you're good.
Oh,
And I was like,
God.
oh, please no.
Yeah.
And then I don't understand I don't understand how this works.
People are very stretchy in the future.
No, I'm pretty sure that's bone, buddy.
Yeah.
Here, you want to listen to this? Pretty sure that right there, that's hard bone.
Give it a few millennia.
Right. Let's just,
Everyone's gonna be a
is
Stretch
that what
Armstrong.
is that what the crunch is? You're just dislocating your
Right.
what is it?
Puncturing your skull.
The facial skull right there.
Right. The frontal lobe.
Yeah, the frontal lobe of your brain. Anyways, there's a crunch, and he pulls out this, I mean, comically
Big-ass
large,
tracking device.
sphere
Yeah.
out of his left nostril.
Mm-hmm. There is no nanotechnology
No,
in the future.
no. It's all just it's all in an orb
Yeah.
and shoved up your nose.
It's like a gotcha capsule. Got that shit out of a vending machine.
He threw a quarter in his ear, and then out popped a little gumball.
Like, oh man, I hate this
Yeah,
one.
Damn it. A tracking device again? I wanted the toy. So anyways, he opens it. It is like this little like capsule, which I don't understand why it couldn't just be the capsule in his brain, but whatever. I have to protect it.
It's anyone's guess.
Yeah, right. So he ends up giving it to some rats, and of course they chase it around. He gathers up all his goodies and is able to
Tests out this
escape.
real nice hologram watch.
Which that's one of those like this is a surprise tool that
will help us
that will
later,
help
yes.
us later. That is a prime use for that. And I love the payoff.
It's so good.
It's such a good payoff. You see it, and it's it's a watch that
very
projects.
convincing. It fools him at first.
Yeah, it projects like not a mirror image, a
flipped image.
like a parallel to you.
Yeah.
Hologram. And it looks real.
Oh yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," and turns it
Right.
off and like kind of chuckles for a second, and then holds on to it. But anyways, let's jump ahead a little bit here. There's a sequence of events that really messed me up
Yeah.
because it was so good.
Uh-huh.
It was so well worded.
Yeah.
There is a doctor that shows up at his doorstep at
Oh come on, we can't skip over him getting to Mars, right?
well no I mean go ahead
Okay.
like what
So included in his bag of mysteries was a at first a very convincing disguise of a very big rotund woman.
Please no. I think everyone has seen this scene.
Of course. But
I don't understand why. So was it a malfunction that he can only
Right,
say
it
2
was-
weeks?
Yeah, it was some kind of malfunction that happened that ended up blowing his cover.
Right.
So he gets caught at like the spaceport.
Mm-hmm.
And this fake head that is encased him in this disguise
Yeah.
just folds open,
Right.
revealing the Schwarzenegger within.
Yeah. Oh God, dude.
And of course, he like closes it back up, tosses it at the security guards, who are reasonably aghast at this
Yeah.
fucking turn of events. Like, what the hell is this?
Gosh.
He makes a break for it, and one of the guards holding the head is just like staring at it, and she says, "Get ready for a surprise," and it fucking explodes.
I love it.
It works as a grenade.
It feels like a spy gadget.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it's
perfect. I want one.
Yes.
Ugh.
Love it.
One of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
That is funny.
So he makes a daring escape after Richter blows a hole in the dome of the spaceport.
He shoots the glass, and of course the glass is like holding back the pressure. And
we got atmosphere leaking.
Yeah, sucked out.
Yeah,
and
we got a side 2 situation going on.
Oh boy! Oh no!
Uh-huh.
And then of course the funny thing is that I don't know why. He's obviously wearing this get-up, and it looks padded in multiple areas. But I've never seen Arnold Schwarzenegger run around in a dress, and I mean, just like absolutely cheeked up. I mean, that guy's got cheeks, and he's like
glutes for days.
He's like rolling and like flipping over like handrails and getting through doorways, and I'm like, dude,
moments happening? We're just like, God damn, cover that shit
Watch where you're throwing that ass, Schwarzenegger.
Oh, man.
You gotta have a permit to be carrying ass like that.
Mr. Universe indeed. Holy shit.
So anyways, is there anything else besides that sequence?
No. That was all I wanted to touch on. That was
so there's a lot of other great stuff. There's the triple tittied woman.
Venusville.
Oh my God. There's a whole lot of stuff that's going on, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But he ends up
reuniting with Melina.
Yeah. And he ends up, the point that I'm getting at is that he's in this hotel room on Mars, and it's nice. I think it's like a Hilton of some kind. So it's nice, and of course he's used his previous identity to like get into it.
Yeah.
So anyways, and it's a nice place. For the first time in the movie, he has like another like safe haven, kind of a slow beat. And there's a knock on the door, and it's like, I'm a scientist. I'm from
Rekall.
Right, exactly. And it's like,
oh, good. Maybe you can explain what kind of fuck up you just did to my brain.
Right, and he's like, I am, I'm unarmed, you know. I love. He's like,
I'm a failsafe.
May I come? And he just gets shoved in the house or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets me.
Mm-hmm.
He has a really convincing argument.
Until
we'll
get there.
He stands there and proceeds to tell him that I am a doctor at Rekall, and you are
still in your dream.
You are still in your dream, and you had like a psychosis moment, or what was it called? Like a
schizo
meltdown.
Yeah.
Of some kind.
That's what we'll call it.
Yeah. You had some sort of breakdown, and now you're stuck, and we can't wake you up.
Right. I'm here to talk you out of it.
Right. And he ends up kind of going on, and then he's like, go ahead and open the door, like trying to convince him, like, oh, I can just like make people materialize.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you open the door. He's like, well, no need to be
rude.
And he's holding a gun at his chin.
Right.
And so the doctor opens the door, and there's his original wife from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a supposedly up against him, and he's like
tried to kill him.
Right. And then she looks like hard into the camera and is like,
I want you to come back to me.
I am your wife. I want you to come back to me. I love you dearly. And you're like,
it's like, it's a bit too robotic for me. Can you soften up a little?
Right. She seems authentic. Seems real. But, we're all kind of on edge because we're like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. But it's also like kind of convincing because she was on Earth and did not come here, does not want to be here.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's not wanting to kill me right now.
Yeah.
But then he's like,
how do I know?
The big thing is, like, he holds the gun to the doctor's head, and he's like, I could just kill you right now.
Right.
And he's like, you could do that. You very well could. Mm-hmm. But then you'd be killing your only chance of someone guiding you out of this, like, nightmare of sorts.
Right.
And
if you lose me, you lose everything.
Right. And he gets kind of escalated, like, in his tone, and gets kind of aggressive towards him.
Mm-hmm. Get a grip.
Yeah, get a grip on reality. Take this pill. You're going to go to sleep, and then you're going to wake up in the real world. And it feels like a Matrix moment where you're like, oh, man, what is real? Is this the reality, or is that the reality? Or even still, like, you can do I want to be part of the actual reality, or do I want to be part of this reality? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of this back and forth thing. And so...
literally hands him a red pill.
Right. And he puts it in his mouth, and both of them are like,
swallow it.
Go ahead and swallow it. Swallow it, my love. You can just do it.
And
And
this
it's
is
like,
when he decides to test the waters. He sees a single bead of sweat go down this man's head, and he's like, "Nah,
no.
fuck it."
Yeah, yeah.
And he
He
shoots
sees
him.
it took
That's all he needed.
It's all he needed. All the convince he needed was just this, like, just go
Swallow the pill. Please swallow the pill. I don't want to die.
yeah, just do it.
Yep.
And then whenever, like, of course, you know, he broke is when he shot the doctor, and of course, you know, the wife kind of breaks character, and still, for me, it still feels like, well, what's real? Like, because the doctor put up or the quote unquote doctor
Right.
put up a good argument. Like,
Yeah,
there was
very convincing.
convincing enough for me. Like, I'm not even in the movie, and I'm like, maybe he is telling the truth.
Right.
Maybe I am crazy. So then the wife kind of breaks character, which then kind of like further plays along, like, oh, this is like where I'm in the simulation still, because she's like, I can't believe you, and kind of got mad and started having a fight with her. Big fight sequence goes.
Yeah.
Whole lot of stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
So am I missing anything else up until this part? What happens next in the grand scheme of things?
Well, next, a security team busts through the walls.
Oh, yeah, right.
Tried to take him down.
Like the freaking
again.
Kool-Aid man.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And they do subdue him.
Yeah.
They're like, they've got him captured. They're on their way back to retrieve him. And then Melina shows up with an MP5 in the elevator. And
Love
just
it.
mows everyone down. And then wife fight ensues.
Yeah.
And she...
Battle of the Wives.
Right. And it's like knockdown, drag out with these two.
Oh, yeah.
Until...
It's not a cat fight. They're throwing punches.
Oh, yeah, no. They're like
flipping each other.
tossing around like it's nobody's business.
They're beating the shit out of each other.
And Arnold is able to come to and secure a weapon. And then this fucking bitch...
Oh, she tries her hardest.
Right, decides to pull the whole, oh, I'm your wife, you'd never hurt me.
You wouldn't do that. I mean, to be honest, like, I don't blame her at that point in time. Like, you're kind of shit out of luck. So, I mean, I guess play whatever card you have.
Right.
And if you're going to try
even if it's a shit one.
yeah, even if it's the sympathy card that is
Yeah.
the ship has sailed.
Yeah, so she tries to, like, pull a gun on him again, and he just nails her right in the head.
Right.
And he's like, consider that a divorce.
Yeah.
It was. Oh, it's such a good line.
Oh, it's so good. That was your wife? I was like, I guess.
What a bitch.
What a bitch. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so no longer married to what's-her-face. Melina is new wife now.
Yeah. The big thing is that there, so like we had said initially, there's like this resistance, and then there is the alliance. What is it called? Not alliance.
The
association?
Agency.
The agency. There's like this agency, and then there's a resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And so we end up going to
one of the hideouts.
After
a speedy chase.
Right. And there's this character, his name is Benny, is that right?
Benny.
Benny is this cab driver, and he's kind of been fun and kind of quirky.
Yeah. He's got 5 kids to feed.
Yeah, I got 5 mouths to feed. I ain't doing all that. I got 5 mouths to feed.
Right.
So anyways, he seems to be like a good companion for right now.
Right.
Because he's also a mutant, and like they kind of allow him into the hideout as well, and they're kind of getting their bearing straight, and the kind of boss man pulls him aside, and boy, oh boy.
There's a name that's been thrown around throughout the movie, who is the de facto leader of the resistance.
Right.
His name is Quato. Now, we don't see him until Arnold is brought to the hideout.
Yes. And this guy's like, okay, like, we got to wait for the boss man. We got to wait for Quato.
It's like, where is he?
Yeah.
He's on his way.
Yeah, you know. Don't mind him.
Right.
Kind of has some banter, but then he like walks off to the side and then proceeds to open his shirt up and then like kind of go dormant.
Yeah.
Like kind of like
falls asleep.
And like then kind of passes out, turns around, and there's a
growth.
Like something out of Fallout. For those of you out
Right.
there that have played Fallout, it is like a nuclear apocalypse game, and there are some atrocities that are in that game.
Oh, yeah.
As you'd imagine, with nuclear waste and stuff, and years worth of festering in it. And there is a little man in the stomach of this bigger man.
Yeah. Just chilling out.
And he likes, again, I'm impressed with how good the puppeting is on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that he's not disgusting and hard to look at.
Yeah, Ian was not for this scene.
He's like slimy.
Yeah.
He's like shiny, and
He's
got like a receding hairline.
Yep.
And you're like, oh man, it just looks. And he like, it'd be one thing if he was like he had skin of a newborn baby. He looked like a rash.
Yeah,
the whole thing, he looked
goopy.
He looks goopy and he looked like he had a skin condition. He's got eczema everywhere.
Well, sorry.
I'm just saying. I'm just like, give some lotion to the poor guy underneath your shirt.
Oh, just some moisturizer.
Yeah, please,
to help the
anything.
poor fucker out.
Give him some water. And anyways, he just looks a little rough.
Right.
And I'm like, anyways, I'm not gonna. He's this wise man inside the
he ain't
body
the leader
of
for nothing.
Right, exactly. So I'm not gonna discredit him. And he starts. He kind of talks to our boy Quaid, and he's like, he says some pretty like deep philosophical stuff. It's like you're not your memories. You are your actions.
Right.
Like it's like you can make yourself different by your actions. Like you don't have to make yourself like by who you are in the past, which is kind of the whole premise of the film right now. Is he doesn't know who he is, quote unquote, because again he's like lost his memories, or his secret agent identity. So it's like a lot of this stuff that's kind of tricky, but it really resonates with the character. It's like, you don't got to worry about all that. You are who you make yourself. So now you can move forward. You've done a good job to our people.
Now open your mind.
And this is the creepiest part, is they really lingered in on it. It would be much better if he said it like once or twice. And he said, now take my hands. And I was like, no, thank you.
I'd rather not.
Please don't. And so he takes his little slimy hands and he sits there and he's like, now open your mind.
Right. It's like, okay.
Open your mind.
Okay.
Got it. Open your
like,
mind.
all right, Jesus, please.
And again, it's another one of those situations where the lips move. I'm going to over exaggerate for the audio listeners out there, but it just feels like he's going, now open your mind. His lips move a little more frequently than they should at a certain point in time, and and the thing is, the puppet looks so good that it's like it looks real and it's scary looking, and the fact that we're just like zooming in on him and going like, yeah, say it more. I'm like,
it's like, please,
please, just can I just please avert my eyes for a second?
Right.
So anyways, he ends up having like a vision of like this reactor.
He remembers the reactor and what it does.
Right.
Or what it will do.
Yeah. We get some, I love this about this film. We get enough to go, oh, I think I understand what's happening.
Yep.
But not enough to like fully encompass like what the actual use of it is. And then, of course, when he comes back to, and he's like, oh, okay, wow. And he's like, oh, I remember.
Yeah.
Or I see now in a certain way.
And then Q, the agency arrives.
The drills.
Busts down the walls.
Right.
Starts murking people left and right.
Our boy Benny was actually an inside man as well. He was in on it the whole time. And I'm like, wow, this is becoming a theme now.
Yeah, he escapes with Quaid and Melina. And he ends up killing Quato.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy. Sad.
And one of my favorite lines from this motherfucker is when he says, I got 4 mouths to feed. It's like, what happened to the 5th one? It's like, shit, man.
You got me.
I ain't even married. I love that.
Wow. That is so good. There's a couple of good lines in this film, and I'm saving the best for last.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So basically, again, there's another crazy chase that happens. There's more gunfights. There's like a bunch of really cool stuff. And at this point in time, the what is it called? I almost said Section 8, but I don't think that's what it's called. What is it? The
agency?
No. The area where the Venus stuff was.
Oh yeah, I don't remember what section
I think
they call it, but
I think it was called Section 8.
maybe.
Anyways, whatever it's called, the area in which like we kind of spend a lot of the time on Mars, they shut the air off after he got like safe haven with all the resistance, and so now they're like losing air.
Mm-hmm.
So needless to say,
they get captured,
right,
brought to the HQ.
So,
buddy, the big reveal, the final, but for reals this time,
but with proof.
Right.
That's the hard part.
Yeah,
It's not only is it the big reveal, but they have proof now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it again?
Like, hey, guess what?
The big bad guy standing there and is like, it's all been a plan from the get go.
Right.
And
you were the linchpin.
And Arnold or I guess Douglas Quaid or whomever he may be now,
right? Hauser
and us as the audience, or at least me, is sitting here going like, bullshit. I don't believe you. You're the big bad guy, and this is all a big ploy.
I know who I was, and he turned against you.
And if nothing else, I just now learned from Quato that like I'm the man of my decisions. I can make my own decisions. I can make my own self right now.
Yep.
And so they're standing here, and
he's just like, no, not really.
All of it was a ploy. All of it was a plan. Like the guy who helped you out, that gave you the briefcase, the fake wife,
yep,
your buddy that you used to work with. Everyone was a plant up until this point. You were an agent here with us,
my best friend,
and we have put you under to lose your memories, so that way this very thing could happen, and you could lead us to the resistance leader. And I was like,
and we got him.
And I was like,
you're a hero.
What? That is the most elaborate.
It's the most convoluted.
It's the most. Most. I don't even understand how you get to that plan.
Right.
But then I'm saying that now, and the wife, after the initial fight sequence, had said that she'd only known him for like 6 weeks. So to be honest, maybe it isn't such a bad thing, like a bad plan,
right?
Because they kind of had, like, in realistically, the events of this movie probably took place in like from the time in which he defected or was the sleeper agent up until right now. It's probably been about 2 months, which is like, I can understand potentially that seems a little more realistic of like, okay, I'm just undercover for a couple months. You put a plan
in motion and now you're just following up on it.
Right, exactly. Instead of being like a handful of years, like like the movie may seem like it is.
Yeah.
So anyways, this whole reveal happens and it's like, no, this is all bullshit, right?
It's like, okay, fine.
Ain't no way.
You won't take my word for it. How about your own?
Yeah, take someone else's word for it, and then pulls up the same video and is like, well...
And Hauser's right there.
And he's like, if you're watching this, you know what?
It means you did it.
It means Quato's probably dead.
Yep.
And,
time to give me my body back.
Yeah, right. I hate to be a bad guy about it, but you know what? It's time for me to have my stuff back.
Yeah,
so,
and he's just sitting there like...
Yeah, there's like
Cohen is there next to him in the video, yucking it up like it's his best buddy.
I'm like, I don't even know what to believe anymore.
Damn,
I don't know what's happening.
A piece of shit.
Yeah,
right.
And it's crazy, and I've never experienced that kind of like holy shit moment in a film. It makes me feel like I want more movies like this.
Yeah,
I want more interesting, great story movies like this. I want to find something. I don't want just like another like repeat or a sequel movie or anything like that. I want something that's like interesting like this.
Yeah.
Needless to say, to kind of summarize here, they end up breaking out before they're like reset and all that kind of stuff, and then they end up getting to the reactor because the whole plan now is to activate the reactor because it's gonna
give Mars an atmosphere,
right?
That is breathable.
Yes. There's a whole fight sequence that ends up going out, but the best part, he uses
the hologram
watch. And oh, buddy, is it a
Richter
great
and his
use of
goons are waiting for him at the reactor.
Yes.
So, of course, he gets the bright idea to test the waters in there just to see if anybody's waiting for him. And as soon as they spring the trap, it looks as though Quaid is mowed down.
Yes.
After the hail of bullets has ended, he just slowly rises and laughs.
Yeah. Then
grand guffaw. Right.
And then, of course, as he steps away, like the hologram disappears, and then, of course,
he just
Quaid
unloads,
turns around and unloads, and of course, there's this like, they're like these big pillars, like concentric pillars on like a grid, and so like it's kind of, you can like hide behind these like big pillars and stuff. But my favorite line of the whole movie is there's like a group of 2 or 3 goons. And he walks, and they're on his left side,
right?
And he looks forward with the guys on his left side.
Right. Starts laughing again,
and then they go to shoot, but they don't. They're apprehensive.
Like, oh no, it's just the hologram again. He's like, you think this is the real Quaid? So they turn around. He's like, it is, and then he just shoots.
It's just back. It is. I love the cadence because it goes like, ha ha ha. You think this is the real Quaid? It is, and then it just starts blasting.
So good.
Like, oh, it's so perfect.
It's the best.
The timing is beautiful on that sequence, and I love it so much.
Oh yeah.
But they end up activating the reactor just before they start.
After the final standoff.
They get blown out because of a bomb and a whole bunch of stuff that happens. Regardless, they get sucked out and nearly die from decompression, which is can't be good for your health at all.
Yeah, no.
They end up giving Mars an atmosphere, happily ever after. He's kissing his woman on the cliffside, and it's beautiful. And then it ends right there. And then I'm like,
But was it real?
But was it real, though? And I believe that
he has the line that goes like, I just had a terrible thought. What if this is all really a dream and I'm about to wake up?
Yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah. It's awful.
Right. But to be honest, I now re-talking through the film and reanalyzing it, I do think it all actually happened and it wasn't a dream. At first, I was confused because I forgot some of the like more granular details at the front that made it feel more real. Because at the end of it, I was like, but is he going to wake up now? Because that was like the thing I was worried about. I was like, he's just going to wake up and go like, oh man, my whole life's a lie. Because that would be atrocious for me personally, is to have experienced that level of trauma and then just to wake up and go like, oh, it's just a Tuesday afternoon now. I'd be like, buddy, I gotta take a nap.
Live this
There's
life
no
anymore.
way. No, if I got to live,
take me back to Mars.
If I got to live a life like that and then just like come back here and be like,
that is,
yep,
I hate that.
Time to go back to work. Apparently,
you have to be aware.
There's no way.
Like you can't just do that.
There's psychological repercussions there if that is a real thing.
That's awful.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Rekall's got a couple of lawsuits on their hands.
Right.
Someone's not doing okay.
Shit's about to go bankrupt.
Yeah. So anyways, I loved this movie. I wish there were more.
It's a classic.
More like it. I think it is so unique and such a cool idea. Very well executed.
Oh yeah.
Just fun. Fun all around. I did have some fun facts about the movie, but I do think that we're kind of long on this movie. We talked a lot about this movie.
Yeah, we did. No fun facts required.
Right. It's just to go over a couple of them. It just says that I think this is one of the last Hollywood blockbusters to use miniatures in it.
Really?
After this, they kind of stopped because green screen and stuff got better and things that were and also like CGI and all that.
Yeah.
Quato was a well-constructed puppet, apparently. It said supposedly there was a whole bunch of stuff that was like going back and forth about they didn't want to use special effects in the movie a whole bunch.
To its benefit.
Right. There's a whole bunch that said that it was that made it what it was, and it was very specific and very nice. Also, everyone got food poisoning apparently.
Ooh.
On the set because I think
that's no fun.
I want to say that almost the entire movie was shot in Mexico City over the course of 6 months, and they said a massive production entailed roughly 500 crew members, 45 sets, and 8 sound stages.
Damn.
And innumerable cases of food poisoning apparently.
That sucks.
Amongst all the people. So crazy to think about. There's a whole bunch of other fun facts, but we won't get into all of those.
Yeah. Our time's running out.
Yeah, our time's running a little thin.
Ego trip's about to end.
Yeah. Buddy, I really just, I feel like I could talk about this movie for a while. I really love this movie a lot.
It's a good one.
It's
a classic.
I never question why classic movies are what they are.
Right. You just got to watch them and find out.
Exactly, because I know you don't get to that level of fame just for being an all-right film.
Mm-hmm.
But I love going into them not knowing anything about them.
Yeah.
And this is a prime example. Like, I didn't know anything about it, went into it, and now I'm so pleasantly surprised. Oh, yeah. Super good.
Could not have been better.
Yes. Well, with that being said, if you were looking to find us or reach out to us, we have a Linktree /Ian Wolf where you can find all of the places you can listen to us, or social media links and places you can contact us. I believe
go to your nearest Rekall center.
Yes.
And simply have the memory of this podcast implanted.
Yes, on a weekly basis, please, if you can.
You don't want to miss out.
I believe also if you stare longingly into space and find Mars, should be the red star in the sky.
And you chant candy bars.
Yes, candy bears. Candy bears. Open your mind. Open your mind.
And the podcast will be beamed into your brain.
Yes, on regular intervals. So fear not. But anyways, until next week, thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye.